Hello, I'm Dan Higgins,
And I'm the better half, Rosa.
and we are an MIT team. We're currently here in Bethel, Alaska. We've been here for, well, this is the beginning of our fourth week. We thought we would put together a timeline for our hiring process to help you out. When we went through the process, we weren't quite sure how long it would take or exactly how it works, so I hope that this video helps you out.
But put in mind that ours was a little bit longer than the usual process.
That is true. So we had an intro call, I believe it was with Daniel on May 10th. We talked just a little bit about ourselves. Daniel gave us a little bit of the background on the company. It was a pretty short conversation. He had us send over our resume, and we set up a appointment for the next day, which was an info session where he gives us a lot more background on the company, which included a slideshow. Then our next meeting with him would have been May 15th, where he did a actual interview with us and got a little bit more in depth about the company. I guess in the interview he liked what he heard, so he set up an appointment for May 22nd with the Director of Sales and Operations, which was a video conference. It was pretty short, I think maybe half an hour at the most. And I believe around the same time, we had a phone conversation with Vince, who runs one of the training stores over in Aniak. And they probably all got together in a phone conference, decided that they thought we would be a good fit, and gave us a job offer on June 1st. We accepted the offer, and on the 3rd of June, all our pre-employment paperwork had been completed. To explain that, they did a background check on us, which included going back 7 years on criminal history, and checked to make sure our driver's license was valid, and did a credit check on us.
And contacted our references.
Yep. I don't know how important the credit check was. Our credit wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. We definitely didn't have an 800 score. Now, between the 3rd and the 11th of June, they actually did the background check, credit check, talked to our references, or actually I believe our references were contacted by email. And also during that period of time, we took a pre-employment drug screen. So by June 11th, all of the paperwork was complete. They got the background check back. They got the results of the drug screen. So, they asked us, are you guys sure that you still want to come up? I think they must have asked that question a dozen times through this whole process. They spent a pretty good chunk of money bringing us up here. They will transport up to 2,500 pounds. I believe the weight of what we sent up came up to roughly 1,800 pounds. So yeah, on the 11th, we had this conversation, decided, we definitely want to come up. They definitely wanted us to come up. So I want to say it was June 15th or 16th. All of our stuff was picked up to be transported, and we flew out on the 24th of June. We flew from Grand Rapids, Michigan to Minnesota, and from Minnesota to Anchorage. Once we arrived in Anchorage, they put us up in a absolutely gorgeous hotel. We actually have a video of the room that we were in on our YouTube channel. While we were there, it was a Sunday that we arrived. All of our meals were comped. You would have to pay for your own alcohol if you wanted that. Neither one of us are big drinkers, so we didn't drink anything while we were there. I believe the lake out front of the hotel is called Lake Hood. That's where the planes take off and land out of. You have the option to jump on a plane there, rent it, and fly around for a tour. They have all different kinds of tours available. I think the cheapest one was, $25 a person?
I think so.
And that was basically a 10-minute flight, just a tour of Anchorage. They went all the way up to, they'd fly out in the mountains, and but we didn't take advantage of that. I kind of wish we had. It was a neat opportunity, and we will be back in Anchorage, and I'm pretty sure next time we'll take advantage of that. So we get in on Sunday, which was June 24th. Come Monday morning on the 25th at 9 a.m., we went to corporate headquarters, which is a very short distance away from the hotel. And we spent the day there meeting everybody, doing our paperwork. I got to tell you, it was a great bunch of people. Daniel took us out to eat, gave us our choice of restaurants. There was a place up the road. I really don't remember the name of it, but we went up there and had reindeer sausage and whatever else. It was a great meal. Really enjoyed ourselves. And then we came back on Tuesday to get our TAPS card, which allows us to sell alcohol here in Alaska. That's also a nice little piece of, not identification, but a piece of proof showing that we were residents of Alaska by that date, which will help you with your hunting and fishing license, because you have to be here for a year to get the residence price on that. And then there's also the oil dividend. I'm not sure exactly what that's called, but you have to be residents here for a full calendar year before you can start receiving that money. I think last year it was about $1,000 a person. So then, let's see, so Monday and Tuesday we were at corporate. Wednesday we jumped on a plane and they flew us over here to Bethel. The manager of the store over here, Seth, picked us up, gave us a tour of town, got us over to our apartment, and we started to settle in. He says, hey guys, when do you want to start work? You need a couple days to settle in, or are you ready to go to work tomorrow? And we were excited. We wanted to start meeting the people, getting to know the culture. So we say, hey, we'll be ready tomorrow morning. And we've been working ever since. Rose is the front end manager in training, so she's out there dealing with the people a lot more than I am, with the customers. And what do you have to say about that? What do you think of it?
I love it. The people are nice, very welcoming. They know right away that you're not from the area, so they try their hardest to be nice and always willing to answer any questions that I have about anything, really. I love it. They're the nicest people.
I would say the same thing. You know, we've already been taken out fishing. We got brought up the river, and I caught my first fish here. It was approximately a 10-pound chum. The wind kicked up, so the day was shortened up a little bit. But we are going to go out berry picking. Today is Sunday, so one of the gals we work with invited us, you know, hey, jump on the boat with us. Let's go up the river and do some berry picking. So we're excited about that. A little bit apprehensive because there are bear in the area and they like the berries just as much as we do, if not more. Apparently, a group of people were out berry picking in the last week and they had to put a bear down. Unfortunately, they tried to scare it away, tried everything they could, and for safety reasons, they had to put the bear down. So that is a very real possibility. I've got a cousin over in King Salmon. They've got bear everywhere there. He had one break into his house one night. They've got video of bear trying to break in the front door of the store after it was closed. He sent me pictures of the trailer that they keep some of their food in. The bears actually broke in there and done quite a bit of damage, got into their trash. So I mean, this is Alaska. There are bear, there are moose. So you have to be vigilant. And if you get sent way up north, like Newitzik or Barrow, there are polar bear up there. From what we've been told, they have shelters that you can go in if you see a polar bear. Beyond the timeline, I guess I'd kind of like to get into our experience with the company, what we've thought about it so far. And I guess I'd let Rosa start off with her impressions.
It's a great company. Where we're at in Bethel, it's a big store, so we're learning everything we can from these people.
Everybody we work with is great.
Yep.
Rosa's constantly out there joking with them. Yeah. While we're at work, we don't interact too much. We did a little bit when we were training together, but me being the manager, I'm getting a little bit more in-depth training than she is. So I'm off in departments that she's not going to deal with quite as much. But I'm going by the service desk or, you know, wherever she's at, and I hear her over there joking with people. Everybody loves her, which is exactly what we expected. At least I expected. We both had a background in retail. I had jumped in a semi. We traveled the country for a year together. Then Rosa went to work for a nonprofit. And I got bored in the semi and really wanted to get back into retail. And this opportunity came up and we jumped on it. I would say if you're going through this process, you're going to probably reach some points where you're impatient. You know, why is it taking so long? And I want to explain to you why I think that is. I think that the company is giving you plenty of time to really think about, do you want to get rid of all of your stuff and move to Alaska? The last thing they want you to do is fail. They don't want you to get up here and decide it's not for you and go home. You are signing a contract. You're on the hook for at least a year. They've spent a lot of money on you, bringing you up here, putting you in a hotel, transporting your stuff up here. And if you don't fulfill your contract, you're on the hook for all that cost. So they want to make sure that you are sure that you're going to do this and that it's what you want. I can tell you our experience is we're definitely going to be here longer than a year. There is a very good chance that other than going down to the lower 48 on vacation to visit family and friends, Alaska is now our home, and this is where we'll retire. We absolutely love the people up here. We are not in Postcard Alaska yet. We're hoping that when a store opens up, that the store we get sent to will be Postcard Alaska, but it may take a couple years or whatever before we end up in one of those stores. And we knew that before we came here, and we're ready for that. I want to wrap this up. Our internet up here is a little bit slower, so it's going to take a while to upload this. There's a couple things I want to touch on, though, to kind of help you out. Take advantage of all the weight you can as far as what they're going to ship up here for you. Ship spices, dry goods, your beans, your noodles. If you've got a bread maker, bring it. Bring flour, bring sugar. This is going to help you while you're going through training. You are very well compensated, but the cost of living here is pretty expensive. A gallon of water here is almost $6. Now, being an employee, you're going to get it for $1. But a gallon of milk is going to be somewhere between $8 and $10. A pack of cigarettes is going to be somewhere between $10 and $14, depending on what you smoke. And they do have, like, we smoke the Marlboro Lights, but we get the packs with 25 cigarettes in a pack. So that's roughly $14.80. So if you can afford to ship cigarettes up with your stuff, as far as I know, that's legal. Take advantage of it. We brought 4 guns with us. We were allowed 11 pounds each of ammunition, so we brought 11 pounds each. As far as firearms that I'd recommend to bring with you, definitely a 12 gauge. One that will hold at least a 3-inch shell. The one I brought will hold a 3.5-inch shell. A slug barrel if you've got it. A 30-inch barrel for duck and goose hunting. I'd recommend bringing a 22. I chose a Ruger 1022. It's my favorite 22. Folks use that for beaver hunting and so forth. And the ammunition's relatively cheap. I would bring a sidearm. A minimum of a 357 Magnum, preferably a 44 mag or bigger. And then your hunting rifle. I chose a 308. You are not going to be able to hunt basically for your first year here other than small game and bird hunting. If you try to do it before then, it is going to be very expensive. From what I understand, you have to hire a guide, and your tag and hunting license is going to be, from what I was told, altogether, if I wanted to go out moose hunting or something like that, it could cost me with a guide and everything up to $6,000. But once you get here, you've got your firearms with you. There's no place to buy firearms here in Bethel. There are a couple guys with federal firearms license that can order them for you, but you're at their mercy for what they're going to charge you for that. Medications, if you have allergies, even if you don't, highly recommend sending some allergy meds up. As you can tell, I'm kind of plugged up. I'm getting over the Bethel crud. It comes, it goes. I haven't quite figured out what it is yet, but I've been told by a lot of people that part of it is allergies. Other than that, I would say when you get here, remember you are an outsider. Be respectful of the culture. Be curious. Ask questions about it. They really like that you're showing interest in their culture. Other than that, Rosa, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Not really. I just like it.
Yep. So, I guess bring your shampoo, body wash, all that stuff. Ship that stuff up. Other than that, I think that's everything I can think of off the top of my head, and with the limited amount of time that we have to put this video together. If you have any questions, go ahead, post them below the video, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Other than that, I hope you come on up, and if you do, welcome to the AC family.